On World News Tonight this Tuesday, the suspected serial killer Rafael Ramirez surrenders. It was arranged by his sister and a Texas Ranger. The 1996 crash of a ValueJet DC-9. Today, an airline maintenance company is charged with murder. The doctor at the South Pole with a lump in her breast. Can she treat herself? We'll take a closer look at long-distance medicine. And from Carsland, Alberta to Fenway Park in Boston. What a way to become an all-star.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. There was nothing dramatic about the end of the manhunt for Rafael Ramirez, the Mexican drifter on the FBI most wanted list. The man wanted in several states for 8 murders at least, walked across the border from Mexico, and with the cooperation of his sister and a Texas Ranger, turned himself in. Our first report is from ABC's Bob Woodruff.
After weeks on the run, Rafael Resendez Ramirez was escorted into this El Paso court today, handcuffed and chained under heavy guard. Several members of his family were with him. At 9 o'clock this morning, he drove up from Mexico to a border crossing near El Paso and surrendered peacefully to a group of waiting U.S. agents, including Texas Ranger Drew Carter.
Carter told me that he was extended his hand. They shook hands, and he handcuffed him. Said he was very pleasant, not aggressive.
With Ramirez now in custody, prosecutors will try to link him to a string of 8 murders in 2 years, from Kentucky to Texas to Illinois. The victims were stabbed, beaten, or shot.
Investigators say in all 8 murders, the killer was sloppy, leaving behind fingerprints, DNA evidence, and in one case, a witness. Today, police took a DNA sample from Ramirez, and they say proving he is their man should not be hard.
The massive manhunt began 3 weeks ago. Authorities now believe the last reliable sighting of Ramirez was June 18th at a shelter in Louisville, Kentucky. After that, agents believe he escaped to Mexico.
It's our opinion that he has been in the Republic of Mexico for at least the last week and a half to 2 weeks.
Tonight, Ramirez was flown to Houston to await formal charges on the 5 murders in Texas. If convicted, he will probably face the death penalty. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Washington.
So why did Ramirez turn himself in? We may not know the full story, but ABC's John Miller reports on a good one.
Like the cliche hero of a silent Western, Texas Ranger Drew Carter wears a white 10-gallon hat. In the end, the tool Carter used to close the case was the force of personality. 2 weeks ago, Carter came here to Albuquerque and developed the trust of Manuela Karkowitz, Ramirez's sister. Carter told her that Ramirez was in danger from Mexican bounty hunters vying for the $125,000 reward. He assured Ramirez's safety if he surrendered to the Rangers. On Sunday, Carter was fishing on the Texas Panhandle when his cell phone rang. It was Ramirez's sister, saying Carter should come to Albuquerque immediately. He got there that night. Monday, working with the sister, Carter was able to assure her that Ramirez would not be hurt if he surrendered peacefully, that he would be protected in jail and allowed family visits, that he would receive psychological tests before trial. On Monday, Carter got a written agreement from Texas prosecutors, showed it to Ramirez's sister, who relayed it to Ramirez's brother in Mexico. In turn, the sister gave Carter instructions to meet Ramirez and his brother at the El Paso Bridge.
The surrender was voluntary, and it's something that he did on his own, and it was also the wishes of his family.
In the end, there was a big news conference with the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, and the Texas Rangers. But Drew Carter wasn't there. He spent his 32nd birthday guarding his prisoner. John Miller, ABC News, New York.
As for the reward money, which was considerable, authorities say they've not ruled out the possibility that part of it will go to those members of Ramirez's family who helped arrange his surrender. The state of Florida has filed murder charges today against an airline maintenance company. The company is called SaberTech, and the charges are in connection with the crash of a ValueJet DC-9 in the Everglades 3 years ago. 110 people died at the time, and today Florida said the company, SaberTech, was criminally responsible. Here's ABC's Lisa Stark.
The criminal charges stemming from the ValueJet crash are highly unusual, believed to be the first time a maintenance company has faced charges like these in the deaths of passengers in an airline disaster.
This was not an accident. This was a crime. It was a homicide.
Investigators determined the ValueJet crash was caused when oxygen generators carried in the cargo hold ignited, like these in this government fire test. SaberTech had packed the partially filled canisters, failing to put required safety caps on, then marking the packing slips, listing the oxygen canisters as empty. They were not. Family members of those who died had been pushing for criminal charges.
I'm just hoping that this won't ever happen again, and if the indictments will prevent this from ever happening again, then I'm all for it.
SaberTech and 3 of its workers were also indicted today on federal charges, lying to the government and violating laws on the transportation of hazardous materials. An attorney for the company called all of the charges unfair and inappropriate.
The question is, are we going to turn these honest mistakes into criminal behavior and mete out further punishment where no more painful lesson need be learned?
SaberTech is essentially out of business. If convicted on the state murder charges, it would face only a fine. But the federal charges against 3 SaberTech workers could bring jail time. Lisa Stark, ABC News, Washington.
When we come back, we'll have some of the other news. There's chaos on the streets of Iran for and against reform as the world watches. And the border baby scam, the latest attempt to get across the border from an illegal immigrant.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by Transitions Lenses.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine.
Have you seen Transitions Lenses lately? Indoors, the changing tint is clearer. Outdoors, they're the darkest Transitions Lenses ever. For all-day comfort and convenience, Transitions Lenses, right in any light. Come to JCPenney Optical and get free frames up to $119 when you buy Transitions Lenses.
No, this isn't a jeans commercial. It's about constipation. You're bloated, not yourself. Your size 10s feel like 2s.
Fibercon has natural fiber action to relieve bloating constipation.
I'm myself again.
Fibercon, be regular, be yourself.
Hi, I have a question about buying stock. What's the difference between a market order and a limit order? Hello? Excuse me.
When you have an investment question, does your online brokerage have anybody there to answer it? We do.
It's not funny anymore.
In the Iranian capital Tehran today, an estimated 10,000 demonstrators battle security forces, and there is similar unrest in at least 8 other Iranian towns and cities. The students and other Iranians who've been demonstrating are upset with those in the leadership who are trying to undermine social and political reform. Here's ABC's Richard Gisbert.
The pictures coming out of Tehran today show a heavy security presence. Police hustling students off the streets. And there are reports that protest leaders have been taken into custody. This after a night that had crowds on the rampage. They fought pitched battles with police in the city center, set barricades and buses alight, and attacked Iranian institutions, ransacking this bank. Some of the worst fighting has been between students pushing for reform and armed vigilantes who support the hardliners. Today, interviewed on radio, one protester sounded desperate. They are chasing us with guns and knives, he says. They want us dead. We are appealing to the outside world for help. The students who began this protest talking about democracy are now talking about revenge. They carry the blood-stained shirts of protesters who have been beaten and chant, "I will kill the one who kills my brother." The very same slogan was popular in 1979, when the Islamic Revolution gave Iran the regime that these young people are trying to change today. Richard Gisbert, ABC News, London.
Demonstrations in the streets of Iran get this kind of international attention because Iran's a big, important country, and in part As Richard Gilbert says, because it was street demonstrations that contributed to the Iranian Revolution in 1979. Today, the tension is between religious conservatives who control the army, the courts, and the security services, and those who believe that Iran must continue to be more democratic and open. Count most of the students in that group.
They want a political democracy, they want economic development, they want international respect.
A lot has been accomplished in recent years. Elections are relatively free, there has been greater freedom of the press, and the rigid code of social behavior for women especially has been relaxed. The students want those changes protected. Nowhere in Iran does there appear to be any appetite for revolution, the street turmoil this week notwithstanding. Iran has been there and done that. This week, the supreme religious leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, was actually sympathetic to the demonstrators. Another part of the world where change is slow to come. For the first time in 40 years, the head of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is in Cuba, scouting opportunities for American business. The U.S. Treasury Department approved the visit earlier this year. Washington has slightly relaxed its 37-year-old embargo, but the Chamber, on behalf of American business, wants it lifted entirely. On the Money tonight, salivating at the chance to tap the internet market in China. Shares of China.com, which operates websites in Chinese and English, and is owned by America Online and the Chinese government, were up more than 230% on their first day of trading, which was today. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down just under 26 points to close at 11,175. On the NASDAQ, stocks were down a little more than 12 points. The tire maker BF Goodrich is trying to tap into the multi-million-dollar market for custom car parts. Now the company is producing a line of tires with colored stripes in the treads. Another shortage of pennies. The government says so many people are deliberately or inadvertently hanging onto their pennies that banks and businesses don't have enough. The Mint is now working 24 hours a day, 6 days a week to make more. In a moment, treating a patient trapped at the South Pole. We'll take a closer look at remote medicine.
Okay, ladies, let's bang.
Did you ever have to make up your mind?
How come you got the hefty one zip?
To pick up on one and leave the other behind.
Drop the bag.
It's not often easy and not often kind.
Is that another box of one zips? Where? Over there.
With no pinching, Hefty One Zip slider bags are the ones to pick.
Don't even.
Hefty One Zip. You slide it, you're done.
Give me back my one zip. I had them first.
I've never found an antacid to be pleasant tasting.
Well, now there's new fast-acting Mylanta Supreme.
Wow!
This tastes really good.
It doesn't taste like medicine, I'll tell you.
No, it tastes like a dessert.
Mylanta Supreme. Taste it for yourself.
Do you have this size?
There are those among us with very simple tastes. They only want the best. And for them, there's Fancy Feast gourmet cat food. Exceptionally moist and delicious. Fancy Feast. Good taste is easy to recognize.
Wedding season is here, and isn't it nice to know there's one thing that will never let you down? Thompson's Wood Protector. For rain, sun, mildew, it's the most powerful Thompson's yet. You may now protect the deck. Thompson's Wood Protector. It never takes a day off.
I'm gonna raise you. Fold. Too rich for me.
I fold.
Call.
A couple of things to remember. One, a full house always beats three of a kind. And two, the new Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any pickup. Chevy Silverado. It's the truck.
Shut up.
You've got to be quick to keep up with them. Quicker to help protect them. That's why Lysol disinfectant spray works in 30 seconds to kill 99.9% of germs. No spray works faster than Lysol spray. You have our word on it.
Tonight, long-distance medicine. Last week, we began to report on the predicament of a woman who's on a scientific mission at the South Pole who had just discovered a lump in her breast. Tonight, we're going to take a closer look because while there is a doctor at the South Pole station and some medical equipment has been delivered, it is now reported that it is the doctor who has the lump. First, ABC's Bill Blakemore.
The medical equipment that was airdropped over the South Pole will now be used by the 47-year-old doctor to examine, diagnose, and possibly treat herself. Among her 40 colleagues there, some have paramedic training and may be able to help her with any needle biopsy to see if the lump in her breast is cancerous. Teleconferencing will let her sit in a private room similar to this and talk with her doctors in the U.S. They can read medical data that she sends from instruments such as a digital microscope, which can transmit detailed images of cells.
If it's been discovered that in fact there are malignant cells there, time is of the essence, and ordinarily surgery would be the next option.
But surgery would not be an option before October, when the weather changes and they can land a plane to get her out. In the meantime, she would probably face 3 months of chemo or some other therapy, monitored from afar.
The medication that's been airdropped allows for a variety of options. And so this is being worked out, has been worked out, and will be monitored through video teleconferencing.
Fortunately, we're not facing an immediate life-threatening situation.
She is reported in good spirits, carrying out her normal duties, and thankful for the good wishes now streaming in from around the world. Bill Blakemore, ABC News.
This is, as you can surmise, a difficult situation for a woman to be in, even if she is a doctor. So what to do? A little while ago, we put some of the questions to ABC's Dr. Nancy Snyderman, who's in San Francisco. Nancy, does one assume at the outset that if a woman has a lump on her breast, the very first thing she wants is a biopsy?
Absolutely, and the state of the art is a fine needle aspiration where a skinny needle is put into the lump, cells are taken out and then looked at under the microscope, and that does require expertise.
Could a woman do it herself?
It depends where the lump in the breast is, it depends what kind of doctor this doctor is, and requires some help. In this rather imperfect situation, you have to assume that the doctor can have a paramedic do the aspiration under her oral guidance, hit the lump, get the right amount of cells, then perfectly stain them, then get them on the microscope.
Given that this is a difficult procedure, is there something else someone in these circumstances should be doing?
It raises the interesting question. If the biopsy can't be performed, if an interpretation cannot be made, should she be treated with chemotherapy anyway? If she knows a lump is growing, do you say, let's go for broke, we have nothing to lose? We may be treating incorrectly, but at least we're doing something.
In a perfect world, as soon as a doctor discovered a lump in the breast was malignant, how soon would he or she operate?
In a perfect world, if a malignancy is found, surgery would be scheduled within a few weeks, and then the options made for what to do after that. Nothing chemotherapy or radiation therapy. In this situation, it should be treated a little bit from the back end, chemotherapy first, hope that that holds this in place for the next few months, and then get her out of the South Pole and to, frankly, back to the United States.
Many thanks for your trouble, Dr. Nancy Snyderman. When we come back, desperation at the border, renting a baby, trying to get here.
I painted for over 12 years, so I can give great advice. You're gonna have to scrape it, sand it, roll it, or hire the neighbor's kids. We are a real paint store. We've got the professionals, we know how to use the equipment, we've got sprayers, we have stains, we have things for indoors, outdoors. Oh, you come to the right place. We've got every kind of roller and brush. For this one, you're gonna need a sprayer. We have the finest quality paints here at an excellent price. Come on in and see why more people buy their paint from us than any other store in America.
Do you use the same corn pads your grandmother used? Well, there's a breakthrough. Band-Aid brand corn relief cushions. It relieves painful pressure and stays in place better.
Band-Aid brand cushions for feet, corn relief.
Now, an important tool in defending yourself against heart disease and some cancers is in your hands.
Because there's new news. The FDA now agrees that eating whole grain foods like Total, Wheaties, and Cheerios as part of a low-fat diet may reduce your risk of heart disease and certain cancers.
Most cereals aren't whole grain, but all of these from General Mills are. Look for this seal to be sure and help defend yourself against heart disease and cancer.
When should we support the Olympic athlete? Just before winning the 5th gold medal? What if we supported them during their rise to the Nationals? while training for the state championships. What if we supported them when they had nothing to show but their dreams? UAW and General Motors, together, are committed to supporting tomorrow's Olympians and their families, today and into the future.
Tonight, another example of what a challenge it is for the Immigration Service to keep track of who's trying to come into the country. We've already covered the Rafael Ramirez story, how he escaped capture last month because of a computer glitch. In the case of this next one, a computer would not necessarily have made a difference. As ABC's Mike Von Fremd reports, this one took a sharp eye.
Any person caught illegally entering the United States has the right to a day in court. Most spend months in detention centers before they can make their case for being allowed to stay. But families with children are given special treatment. They are set free on just a promise that they will show up months later for the immigration hearing. That was about to happen to this Honduran man and woman who illegally crossed the border with Stephanie, a 7-month-old baby in their arms. But something about the infant looked familiar to Border Patrol agent Griselda Vidrio.
And I helped one of the agents with fingerprinting, and then I went over that way when I saw the baby smiling at me, and then I told him I've seen them for sure, that I've seen the baby before.
They began checking pictures of previous families, and there it was. Stephanie, just weeks earlier, with a man claiming to be her single father. Stephanie with another couple claiming to be her parents.
We can prove the baby was used 3 times in the month of March alone. How many times the child has been used, I do not know.
This is the first time illegal immigrants have been caught using a baby as a prop. But immigration officials fear it is not an isolated incident, and they are now re-examining pictures of other families who've crossed the border. As for 7-month-old Stephanie, she is now in this foster home. Her real mother, who lives in Houston, was arrested and has confessed to renting Stephanie at least 3 times to this man. He paid $200 each time he took Stephanie across the border to Mexico, where illegal immigrants would carry her back across the Rio Grande on foot and claim to be her parents. Stephanie's mother now faces deportation. Child welfare officials say the healthy baby will probably be put up for adoption. Mike Von Fremd, ABC News, Brownsville, Texas.
Another scientific example today of what a small world it is. A researcher at the University of Miami says that as much as half the dust in Miami during the summer, and Miami can be pretty dusty, comes from Africa. Joseph Prospero reviewed 23 years of research, and he says that one of the reasons Miami sometimes has a reddish haze is the iron in the dust from Africa, competing with the pollution made at home. When we come back, from the prairies to Fenway Park.
In the beginning, all was darkness and sorrow. And then, one day, come, it is time. The Maytag Dual Cool Refrigerator, where finally the temperatures are just right. Yay, our future looks bright indeed, for this refrigerator actually keeps food fresh.
I should have used Preparation H.
Cool it fast. Introducing Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. New Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
We're gonna change your mind about coloring your gray with the natural look of Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men. No one can tell with Just for Men.
Just for Men penetrates hair deep inside where natural color begins. Simply apply, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men.
Yoo-hoo! Does your daily shower cleaner disinfect? Ooh, guess that's a no. Get Lysol Daily Shower Cleaner, the only one that disinfects. Lysol Daily Shower Cleaner helps protect. You have our word on it.
Keep your eyes wide open.
Nicole Luce said the most erotic thing is someone's hands. Do you want to weigh in?
ABC Wednesday.
Just a brief review of our top story. The suspected railroad killer is in custody tonight. Rafael Ramirez surrendered on a bridge between Mexico and Texas in a deal that was brokered by his sister. Finally, from us this evening, the All-Star Game. Baseball's best from the American and the National League are at Fenway Park in Boston this year. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Ken Griffey Jr., Pedro Martinez, Derek Jeter, Jeff Zimmerman. Oh, I know you're not so sure about Jeff Zimmerman. Nor were we until recently, but ABC's Dean Reynolds follows the Texas Rangers pretty closely.
Talk to the best players in baseball about Jeff Zimmerman, and you are likely to have a short conversation.
He's a Texas guy, right?
How do you spell Zimmerman?
Barry, do you know what to expect if Jeff Zimmerman gets into the game, the American League?
No. Zimmerman sees that as a competitive edge.
Good. I mean, the less information they know about me, the better.
It won't be long before people know he grew up in Carsland, Alberta, a Canadian town of 500 where his father rented an airplane hangar so he could pitch through the winter, and that he mastered his bread and butter pitch, a 92-mile-an-hour slider, in, of all places, the National League of France, where the game, to say nothing of the league, is foreign to most French.
Do you know what the word in French is for slider?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they've invented that one yet.
He did well enough for the Montpellier Barracudas to earn a shot with Winnipeg in the most minor of minor leagues.
And you didn't make the Northern League All-Star team, right?
That was a major snub.
2 years ago, when he was 25, Zimmerman asked all the major league clubs for a tryout. The Texas Rangers alone said yes, and he joined the club this spring.
Looks like he knows what he's doing, does he? Yeah.
Today, the whispering is over.
Zimmerman mows him down again. The statistics are impressive. 8 wins, no losses. He's given up less than 1 run per 9 innings, and only 1 out of every 10 batters has been able to get a hit off him.
It's a long way from the diamond in Canada to baseball's All-Star Classic.
You dream about being a hockey player. You don't even dream about putting on a major league uniform, let alone being in an All-Star game.
For Jeff Zimmerman now, reality will do just fine. Dean Reynolds, ABC News, Boston.
Remember the name. That's our report on World News Tonight. Later on Nightline, one company's motto, fail often, succeed sooner. Why it's working for them. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Tomorrow, should veterans be laid to rest in a sunken battleship, the USS Arizona, a graveyard under the sea. Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABCnews.com, now a part of the Go Network.
Mike, proud of you.